This way is just a little conversation with Will, sort of how he's sort of built the studio and sort of global processes that he's gone through. So thank you so much for logging having a little chat.
Okay, no worries.
So, I mean, first of all, Will corrected me when I said this before.
Okay.
So, which was, the studio's based in West Wales, with a team spread across Wales, England, Spain, Greece, Japan, and in the US, it's LA and Detroit. And you have had employees in France and Russia. How do you keep everybody in track?
And Australia.
And Australia.
It's Australia and then too.
Yeah. How do you keep everybody in track?
Okay. So we're down in Pembroke. So we're based down in Pembrokeshire. We're making a game called YAMI. Some of you may have seen it on Twitter or on social media. I think there's a picture. Is there a picture?
There is, but there's feedback at the minute, we can't put it.
All right, so you know. It's a 3D puzzle platforming game set at the end of the Silk Road, so Uzbekistan, Himalayas, and it has a small pond character on an adventure. I hope we get a picture, but if not, I'll meet you afterwards and I'll show you my phone and I can show you some pictures. So we started developing with the help of Creative Wales. We got a grant in 2020 and we got funding and we started making YAMI. When we started, there were 3 of us. There was myself, Tom, who's our environment designer, who's based in Cardiff, and a programmer called Helen, who's no longer with us. He's not dead. He just decided that he wanted to do something else. So we started with 3, and then as the project took off, in 2021 we grew from 3 to 6, 7, and then from 2022 we got into 14. So we grow, we work in cycles. So our main first task was to develop the gameplay kind of components and design components. So the teams were working on those elements. I come from a history of working for Greenpeace International as a creative director and designer on big global campaigns. So Greenpeace has a lot of people that work all around the world. So for the last 10 years, I had a kind of introduction to working remotely and how to manage teams, especially creative teams. So when we started making YAMI, I already had an idea about how I wanted to do it. So we started using Slack. We now use Discord. It's cheaper. But in the beginning, we started using Slack as a way to communicate. We use Google Docs to manage all of the information that is around the project. We use Trello as a task managing system. We build in Unity, so our team uses Plastic as its management system to make sure that everything's kind of working properly. So how do I work? I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I speak to Sean in Australia, and then gradually as the day goes on, so I'll speak to him, I'll talk to him about the work he's been doing. He's our animator, so he'll show me his work, and then gradually somebody in America will come online, so it goes Australia, then America, and then they're getting to bed, so they're showing the end of their work, and then the UK starts coming online, and then we get all of the Europe. So we have myself and Liz. Liz is supposed to be here. I don't know where she is. She dropped me, threw me out the car, and then went to park. But she's our studio director, and she's also my wife. And so we're in Pembrokeshire. We have 2 people in Cardiff. We have 1 in Yorkshire, 1 in London, 1 in Athens, 1 in Canary Islands, 1 in Tokyo, 1 in Sean in Melbourne. We have somebody in Los Angeles and Detroit. Yeah, so we're all around the world. It just goes like that. Yeah, hello with it.
How did you recruit?
So YAMI has a very Team ICO kind of vibe. And so when we first started, I started pushing up things on Twitter. So but it was just 2-3 of us. I was sharing GIFs and images, and we started to amass followers, and people started volunteering kind of to work on the project, saying, if you need somebody to do this, or if you need somebody to do something. So our sound designer volunteered, reached out through Twitter. Our character designer did the same. In fact, I would say Twitter probably gave us most to people who work with us. Yeah, so, and then as the project evolved and we started sharing more and more gifts and sharing more and more work and going to GDC and being part of the Creative Wales stand, people were seeing more and more of our work, and at those stands people would give us business cards, and yeah, so we get quite a lot of people wanting to come and work with us. So and we have a selection process, so we ask people to do tests. So they do a test piece of work which they do for free, which would be a day's work. And then if we like it, we share it with the team, and then the team likes it, we invite them to come back and do another test, and then that test we pay for, and it's usually a 2-3 day test. And if they do well in that, we share it with the team, and the team feedback on the work. We then invite them to come and do a month's work with us paid. And then that's the most crucial thing, because the way our team is, we're like a family, and somebody new coming into it, you need to know that the dynamic works. So quite a lot of people have come to work with us for a month and they'd left because they didn't pass that final stage. But everybody we did pass is still with us. Have I missed anything? To tell you more about our processes. So yeah, as I said, I get up early in the morning, and gradually as the day goes through, I check in with everybody at their work, and then we do kind of team building exercises where we invite people to kind of tell us what about. So each week, a member of the team will do a topic and then do a presentation. Some people won't talk online. It's interesting doing remote working. Some people just do not like being in front of cameras, so they do everything kind of in Discord, in text format. But some people are real kind of extroverts, and they share, and they kind of get on video calls. But everybody seems to kind of get on with sharing projects, sharing ideas and things that they liked, that are important to them each week. So over the course of the 3 years that we've been developing, everybody, without fail in the team, has kind of talked a bit about their families, about what they're doing, and their social inclined for their aspirations. So it doesn't feel like that we're not in the same room as those people. We work really hard at kind of onboarding people and kind of making them feel part of the team. So last year we went to GDC. We didn't go this year, and we invited our team to come and meet us. So it was the first time we'd all seen each other below our shoulders. So they came to the stand. We have Chi came from Tokyo, and Lauren came from Texas, who was our rigger at that point. She's not working with us anymore, but she was doing all of the rigging on all of our characters, and when she finished the work, she moved on to work for and some good company she works for, Wex has got on to, but she still keeps in contact. But yeah, so we ended up with about 4 or 5 of us all spending the day at the Museum of Modern Art in San Francisco, And again, they all hung out at the stand, got to meet everybody, Kath and Dean. And so that was a real good team building and bonding exercise. Wait, answer the question?
Definitely. I mean, just picking up a little bit what you said about Twitter, do you feel like it maybe has changed from when you were recruiting people to now? Do you think sort of using Twitter to recruit has changed?
There are more people that reach out than we did than we had at the very beginning. So it's harder to. So there's a process. It used to be that people would reach out on Twitter and they'd share their Twitter handle and they'd share pieces of work that they were doing. Now we get inundated with people who don't share their portfolios, which is kind of, so we get less professional people, I suppose, or people who haven't kind of built up a visual portfolio to show us their work. But yeah, we haven't recruited anybody new. We were about to go through a recruitment kind of push. But that recruitment push is going to be more Wales focused, I think, because we want to try and build up a Wales-based team. So, we're going to be inviting students and animators and 3D modelers from the UK rather than globally, just because we have a solid team, but it would be interesting. We want to start to kind of move from being virtual, being remote, to actually becoming a physical studio. So earlier this week we went to Ukie, which is the S4C building in Cardiff, and we're going to set up a studio there. So we're going to move our studio there, and we're going to look to see if we can get some of our staff to come and be physical rather than remote and actually be with us in the space. And also because there's something about having a place where people can come to, even if they're just interested in what we're making, and certainly come to have a look and see what we're doing. And yeah, so we did that on Tuesday, so it's a new thing from us, just finding that.
So would that be more in a hybrid model, so they don't have to be in all the time, but it's like if you need or you want to come in, see some faces, you can come in and here's your face.
Yeah, exactly. And also, the way that Ukie is it's got a huge big kind of open area, but there are other companies around. So one of the things that we've got is we've got quite a few young people. When I say young people, I'm 56, so I'm ancient. But we have young people who are in their early 20s who are remote working, and they're not getting to meet people. One of the problems of being at home all the time is you don't meet other people in your own age group, you don't fall in love, you don't go to parties, you don't do those kind of things that you might happen if you were in a physical office. And so we've talked a lot about that, listen on there, but how as part of our responsibility as running a studio is actually to think about the well-being of our team, and actually get them to have a place they can come to and meet people, be part of an actual community. So with that in mind, we're inviting people to come, members of our team to come and stay with us, so you stay in Wales. So they may be in the Canary Islands or they may be in Greece, but they may come and do a series of pieces of work with us on site. And we've also got students coming to have a look and spend time with us at work as well. We get a lot of students reaching out to us, and it'd be really good to have a space where they can come and be part of what we're doing.
Are they Welsh students or?
Yeah, Welsh students, but we also have students who reach out from all over Europe, all over the world. But the Welsh students we hear of more of because we're down in Pembrokeshire, and I think there's not much for young people in Pembrokeshire who are into gaming. They see us on Twitter and they want to can see what we're doing. So we also get a lot of things from parents saying, my Johnny really is, all he does is game. And is there a career in gaming? How can he get a job? Yeah, so we get a lot of those conversations.
I suppose let's go back to YAMI, because obviously you were on this stage like 12 months ago,
Yeah.
telling us where the game come from, the sort of origin story. How has it been in the last 12 months with the development, and how is it going?
Right. So we finished the design. So as I said, we work in phases. A project like YAMI is going to take 6 years to build. So it's not a small. We're a tiny team. We're a family-run studio. I work with my wife and my son. We have this team that's all around the world. But yeah, we're not a huge big team. We scale up and scale down the lots of requirements of what the job against. So we got funding in 2020. So we did the initial kind of prototyping, and then in 2021 we began proper pre-production. So by pre-production, I mean doing all of the gameplay testing all the gameplay mechanics, and starting to do the design work. And then what we do as we finish a piece of work, we invite tissue testers or peer testers to come in and test a piece of work, get feedback from it, and then we either iterate on it, or we throw that piece of work out, or we keep it and move on to the next stage. So our main push in the last 3 years has been designing all the world. So it's quite a lot of world to design, and we pretty much finished all of the design. So we finished our design section in the end of December the last year. And then we spent early part of this year working on optimizing all our code. When you get things that we have quite a photorealistic kind of world. It's stylized, but it's quite realistic, and it can get quite heavy. So we need to spend quite a lot of time making sure that it's playable and it doesn't just slow down and we get a lot of kind of frame rate problems. So we spent the early part of the year working on that, and then we built a demo to do tests. And then, so this is Liz, who's just walked through the door there. So we built a demo. We did that because we wanted to see how people kind of interacted with wind. A key part of our game is there are three main mechanics. There's our little boy has to gather magic from the world, store the magic, learn how to use it, use that magic to unlock wind elements. Those wind elements build up as he unlocks them, and then as he's unlocked them, he's able to transport himself to the next island. We have lots of floating islands in camp, and so we've been working on that, so kind of testing that, which is a kind of final piece of our kind of gameplay mechanic. And then the other thing we've been looking at is working with our actress, and getting the voice right for the game. So that's where we're at the moment. And then we're going to present to platforms publishers later in the summer with a completed demo with all the components in it. And then from there, we will push into the final production, which is at 18 months to 2 years. Taking everything that we build and we're kind of getting it ready to go to market.
Busy time.
Yeah. Well, actually, in some ways, Liz and I were talking about it today on the way up. This is the moment where we look at everything that we've made, kind of make sure that everything's on track and is doing exactly how we want it to be. So that's what we're doing about.
Wonderful. And got anyone any questions?
If you don't mind me asking, how you guys with it and got other support, how you funding this?
So we had Creative Wales give us fantastic grants at the very beginning, and then we got private funding, and then which was quite a large amount of private funding, which helped us fund that first 3 years development. We also have VGTR, so we're able to claim bank percentage of what we spend. And Liz and I have invested quite a bit of our own money into making the game happen. But yeah, so that's where we're at the moment. The project is £1.5 million in total. We still have to locate the 5,450,000. But yeah, so, and that's where we're at the moment now, the mark. This way.
One question.
Did that answer your question? Thank you. I just...
6 years ago, if anything.
Good question. I guess you need to ask the team. Yeah, so the 6 years, so as I said, first year there was 4 of us, and then it grew. So of that initial 4, 2 of us are still on it. The other 2 kind of stepped off. One finished the piece of work that they were working on, and the other decided that, well, he got married, and he and his wife decided they wanted to do something else rather than making games. But as a project goes, I guess we're always in talking, and we're getting the team involved in the kind of creative process. And so we're always looking for feedback from the team. I think the team feel, and I think I would be honest in saying this, the team feels like YAMI's theirs, and so it feels like they're very proud of it and how it's growing, and they see their pieces of work in it. There's a lot of love within the team for the project. I think there are moments where pieces of work that we do go to testers, and then testers kind of respond badly to it. And then we go, okay, we're going to have to iterate on that and change this and then make it. There are moments where people are a little bit sad about it, but invariably it all gets better because of that process. And we try and include the person whose work's been rejected or kind of modified in the process of coming up with the solution, so there isn't any negativity what happens around that. But yeah, I mean, I guess the way that we motivated it's is trying to make sure that everybody feels that it's theirs, not ours. So we work as a team where we try, and I know people have said that teams are like families, but ours, we really do feel like we can engage our fellow workers and making their project feel like it's theirs. Okay. Any other questions?
Time for one more question, if anybody has one. All good. Thank you so much, Ben. Thank you.